went well?
I didn't feel like anything went well. It's just a disaster the whole time.
Other thoughts? I think there were some things that went well. I think you did a really nice job of maintaining your calm. What other thoughts?
Well, one time when I was, because I've done some simulation before, and we had this patient, and it was a patient that was dying, and we just didn't know what to do with them, and it was nobody was helpful, or
You know what? Hold that thought. It might be important later.
Okay.
What I want to talk about among us is the experience we all just had here.
Oh,
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then Teresa. Teresa, it looks like you're scooting out of the circle.
Oh,
Can you come
sorry.
up and join us?
Sure.
Yeah, just so we have good eye contact and we can all see the screen well.
All right.
Great. Thanks. All right. So what else went well?
Well, in the second one.
Yeah, the one we just finished.
The one we
yeah.
just did. Yeah. I thought it went well. I thought that. Yeah.
The mannequin was really hard to, I was trying to listen to lung sounds. I couldn't really tell whether it was, what the lung sounds were. The mannequin just didn't seem to be really working for me.
We understand that the mannequins have limitations,
Mhm.
and that's part of the reason we do the orientation, so you can really adjust your ears to what's mechanical sounds for the mannequin and what
Mhm.
are the breath sounds.
But
Has
the
anybody-
room isn't what I usually work in, so it's really hard to, orient myself to what I need to do. Where I needed to go, and it just seemed really awkward for me.
Yeah, I can appreciate that, and that's why we spend the time doing the orientation up front. Have you ever walked into an unusual situation? You've gotten floated to a different floor, and you're not used to the equipment or the layout? Anybody had that kind of an experience?
Yeah, I had that. Yeah, I had that when I was down in oncology. I had that before, and it was very disconcerting because I didn't know where anything was in the room, and there's a charge nurse, and she was really bossy, and I felt really stupid.
It would have been better though if I could have heard what the mannequin, the patient was actually trying to say to me. It was really hard to hear, so it's really hard to just put myself into the scenario.
So what are some strategies we have when we walk in and our patients are hard to hear, or maybe it's hard to hear the breath sounds, or maybe family are talking, so what are some things that we can do, when that happens, when it is hard to hear your patient?
I guess I can get closer to him,
Okay.
ask him to speak up. I could have done that. I don't think I did that.
Okay,
I
there's one
just-
thought. Excuse me, Teresa. I'm going to remind you of the ground rules. I'm going to ask you to turn off the cell phone. All right, and I need you to be fully engaged and participate. Thank you.
What was the question?
What could we do to,
Oh yeah.
When you
better
run
hear our patients?
when you have the same type of problems, you can't hear your patients. It's difficult. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Maybe talk to our preceptor and or our instructor and see if they can help us. Maybe get some better equipment that would help us to do our job better.
Okay. Other thoughts?
I don't know, can it just go easier so we don't have to feel stupid when we do it?
This is not designed to make you feel stupid. We understand that it might feel awkward and a little uncomfortable because it's not exactly like what you're used to working in, but everywhere you go, different hospitals, different floors in the same hospital, it's going to be different.
When I get a job,
nursing,
I'm going to
yeah.
work on the same floor all the time.
But see, as nurses, you have to be ready to adapt because things are changing all the time. And
Mhm.
so simulation gives you that experience to see things are not always going to be the same. Things are going to be difficult sometimes. Sometimes you aren't able to hear your patient. Sometimes the equipment doesn't work. Not just the simulation equipment, sometimes your real medical equipment doesn't work.
I've had that problem
And so
before.
we have to be ready to adapt to those situations, and that's where simulation will help you to be ready to figure out, what am I going to do now?
It really does
And this
happen
is in a
like that?
safe
Mhm.
environment so that you can see when things go wrong. Okay, and I can think about these other things and how I can take
Mhm.
control.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, this is this is pretty realistic. It's seldom a patient lying in a bed by themselves, perfectly calm.
Who's nice?
Who's nice. They usually are uncomfortable, or they wouldn't be in the hospital. They usually have a major problem. They've got family issues. They've got, you know, all kinds of things that they're trying to deal with. Okay?
The simulation was great. It was so real, and though I hated seeing myself on video, it really made the learning aspect so much better for me because I could see what I was doing well and things that I needed to do differently. So it was a great experience all around.
Well, as a faculty person, being able to view the video after the scenario is very helpful because you can actually remember, you can't remember what everyone has said in the scenario. So being able to see the playback, you can then look at the critical thinking, you can look at the communication, and when a student maybe doesn't remember whether they did something or they didn't do something, you're able to play back that video to validate, you know, the true situation. And when they see that, then they're saying, oh yeah, I really did do that. And it makes it a real kind of a self-assessment for them because it makes it more objective. It's not the faculty person saying, oh, you did do this or you didn't do this. The video doesn't lie.